This video is brought to you by Vampire Watches, luxury handcrafted watches at fair prices. You can check them out through the link in the description below. And in the video today, we're answering a viewer question because Chloe M asks us, what items does Batman have in his utility belt? Over the years, it has become a running joke of sorts that Batman's glorified fanny pack contains whatever items he needs to fulfill his current mission, regardless of how unlikely a scenario the caped crusader might find himself in. This leads us to the query of the hour: what has Batman's utility belt been shown to contain? Alright, so up until the release of Detective Comics number 29, which formally introduced the idea of Batman having a utility belt, Batman's costume had, for all intents and purposes, an ordinary belt that stored a single gadget, the Batrobe, with a grappling hook. In Detective Comics number 29, writer Gardner Fox decided to expand his toolset, establishing that the Dark Knight wore a belt with numerous pouches containing various gadgets that he may need while fighting crime. The first revealed of these were small glass pellets that, when thrown, released a large cloud of obscuring and choking gas. From there, things became a little bit more elaborate. For example, among other things, the utility belt was shown to include a giant balloon figure of Batman that could be inflated remotely. That's from Batman number 115. It also has been shown to contain a mini Geiger counter, Batman 117, and even a small disc of asbestos, inexplicably revealing his secret identity. That's from Detective Comics number 185. In the 1958 comic Batman number 117, it even shows him carrying shark repellent. For all of those times one needs to fend off sharks while fighting crime on the streets of Gotham. If you're curious, by the way, in this case Batman was underwater on an alien planet. Luckily for him, he remembered to pack his shark repellent and used it against an angry alien, reasoning that if it works on the killers of the deep on Earth, it might just scare away a similar creature on an alien planet. Solid logic. We mention this because it adds some context to the 1966 Batman film where Adam West fends off a shark in midair with some handy shark repellent bat spray. Glorious 1950s era context there with West. Later, comics also established that Batman has gadgets specifically designed to counter single members of his rogues gallery, such as an antidote to the Joker's Joker Toxin, a bat heater to combat Mr. Freeze, and special gloves that augment his punching power to fight on a more even playing field with the superhumanly strong villain Bane. Not just for enemies though, Batman also apparently keeps what's needed on hand to take out his allies as well, including a little bit of kryptonite just in case. It should also be noted here that in his very earliest of comic outings, Batman's utility belt had space for a handgun. Yes, as sacrilege as this would be in modern times, early versions of Batman had absolutely no qualms about just shooting the bad guys. As for more day-to-day things, Batman's utility belt further carries a first aid kit containing basic surgical tools and various antitoxins, an acetylene torch that can cut through the ship of a battleship, a forensic kit for analyzing crime scenes, a communication device, keys for the Batmobile, a rebreather in case Batman is ever submerged underwater, bat cuffs, these are special handcuffs designed to restrain even superpowered individuals, a lockpick, a high-resolution camera, and in some cases the aforementioned grappling hook. In addition, the belt also contains numerous darts and pellets designed to subdue, incapacitate, or otherwise stun criminals non-lethally when thrown. It is also variously shown to have a flamethrower, an EMP, a sonic devastator, whatever that is, a remote claw, napalm, explosive gel, a cryptographic sequencer, and grenades of various types. In the Batman and Robin film, the belt is even shown to contain a Bat credit card, which, if Batman is to be believed when he flashes it, is something he never leaves home without.
Never leave the cave without it.
And to be honest, while the scene is often made fun of by the masses, it does at least accurately demonstrate a way for Batman to use his greatest superpower, and that, of course, is being really rich. In any event, as you might be gathering at this point, writers for Batman really do use his utility belt as a deus ex machina of sorts, usually introducing an amazingly specific gadget seemingly perfectly suited to solve whatever problem Batman has at a given time, with that gadget often never being mentioned again in later depictions. In an effort to explain away their lazy writing in a semi-plausible way, the comic authors established in Batman canon that the hero obsessively plans every encounter to the most minute detail and has safeguards in place for any eventuality. Thus, this implies that the exact contents of his utility belt at any given time vary considerably from day to day, though even just going with the staple items that are supposedly always there, the storage capacity of this belt would give even Hermione Granger's handbag a run for its money. Speaking of planning for any eventuality, the belt has numerous inbuilt security systems to prevent unauthorized use, including a tracking beacon and an explosive charge so Batman can destroy it as a last resort if he ever loses it. The belt can also only be accessed by Batman, and the various compartments and pouches will only open in a response to a specific finger pattern. The belt is also supposedly constructed from a titanium alloy that makes it nearly indestructible, except, we guess, from whatever explosive that he uses to self-destruct it. Of course, at this point, we feel compelled to point out that in the 1960s Batman TV show, early editions of his utility belt can very clearly be shown to be made up of common household kitchen sponges clipped to a yellow belt. But to sum up, Batman's superhero fanny pack contains a baffling array of equipment to fight crime, from shark repellent to kryptonite, and it all somehow fits neatly into a tiny belt thanks to the magic of lazy comic writing. But you know what Batman definitely wouldn't be carrying in his utility belt? A pocket watch, because he'd wear an amazing Vincero watch. Speaking of lazy writing. Today's video is sponsored by Vincero, and I want to take a moment to tell you about them before we get into today's bonus fact. Now, you've heard me talk about Vincero watches before. They've actually sent me a new one today. You've seen my other one previously, and this one is actually called a Vincero Rogue. Now, when they sent this to me, I was a little bit worried. As I mentioned previously, I have the tiniest wrists of any man, and this is a fairly large watch, but somehow the way it's designed, I think I can actually pull this off. And if you don't have tiny wrists like me, like 99.9% of the people watching this, even the women, this watch will look a lot better on you. Also, Vincero watches, Also, this watch comes with a fantastic rubber strap. My previous watch had a leather strap. We're having a heat wave here in Europe, so having a rubber one is a lot better than sweating into the leather of my other watch. And even if you did have that other Vincero watch, you can swap out the leather straps. Now, what I have here is actually the leather strap, but sorry, you probably can't see that. It comes in this great box, and inside here is a leather strap. You can also buy metal straps, which are a lot better for summer, so you can just swap that out nice and easy to deal with the sweaty summer months. So that's pretty perfect. That is going to stay in the box until winter, though. Another great thing that I love about watch straps is that you can have one watch and you can easily swap out the straps, and I really think straps can really change how a watch looks, so you can get like lots of different styles with just one watch. Now, the way I like to describe watches are they're kind of universally acceptable jewelry for men. It's kind of how I see them, but it's not really much of a tagline. So Vincero say that they basically give you the classic look of a watch, which, as you can see, is absolutely true, and they deliver a high quality item at a great price. Now, getting a Vincero watch is a great way to support this show, which is amazing of you. It helps us keep making these videos, so please do check out their collection and do it through our link so they know that we sent you, and you'll also get 15% off. I went to the website without that link. You only get 10% off, so if you really want to get the best deal, use our link, get that 15% off. It's vincerowatches.com/brainfood. Now for a bonus fact. Speaking of Batman's obsessive planning, the comic JLA, Tower of Babel, notes that Batman has plans in place to take out his own teammates, keeping detailed dossiers describing how best to deal with heroes such as Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Flash. Batman's obsession with being prepared for every scenario is such that he even keeps a file detailing how to kill himself should the need arise. For anyone curious, Batman notes that the easiest way to kill him would be to distract him by taking an innocent person hostage and then take him out like any other mortal man. Although, given countless villains have used this exact strategy against him with little effect, we're thinking maybe Batman's planning abilities might be a little overestimated. So I really hope you found that video interesting. Like I say, please do check out Vincero, link below. And as always, thank you for watching.